The movie starts when a teenager, Vasily, goes hunting with his father. He is trying to tell himself that he is not afraid, but actually, he is terrified. The scene changes, and we now see a grown-up Vasily Zaitsev going to Stalingrad with European soldiers to fight against the advancing armies of Hitler. Vasily Zaitsev arrived in Stalingrad at the height of the Battle of Stalingrad in 1942. The Stalingrad docks are under attack from enemy aircraft. Some young soldiers try to jump into the water to save themselves, but their commander shoots them. It's blood and chaos everywhere. Injured soldiers are being carried out, bombs are dropping, and guns are firing. Vasily finds himself right in the middle of a bloody battle. Young soldiers are given guns and ammunition to fight the enemy in the city. Vasily gets just a handful of bullets and no weapon. Soon, the European soldiers are butchered by Hitler's army. Vasily hides among the dead bodies of other soldiers, and later, he kills many high-ranking enemy officers from a distance with his remarkable skills with a rifle. This remarkable feat is noticed, and soon enough, Commissar Danilov and Nikita Khrushchev, who had come to coordinate the city's defenses, come to know of Vasily's skills. The two men go to Vasily and ask him to join them in the fight for their country. They immediately notice his skill with a rifle and offer him a position as a sniper on the front lines. Vasily gets excited by the offer and accepts without hesitation. Vasily proves to be an invaluable asset to the Allies, and his incredible marksmanship skills help turn the tide of battle, and hundreds of Nazis are killed. He becomes an iconic symbol of Russian resilience and courage during World War II. Vasily Zaitsev's bravery during the Battle of Stalingrad inspires all who hear his story. His remarkable marksmanship saves countless lives, turning certain defeats into victory. Vasily becomes an inspiration to his fellow Red Army soldiers. He shows them that, no matter the odds, courage and determination can lead to victory. When Khrushchev demands ideas to improve morale, Vasily answers the call by leading a fearless squad of Red Army soldiers in a series of daring operations against the Nazi forces. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, Vasily's courage and marksmanship led them to victory. He refuses to accept defeat despite the odds stacked against him and instead rallies his troops to fight with all they have. His heroic acts ensured the defense of Stalingrad and ultimately paved the way for winning World War II. Vasily makes a difference on that fateful day, and his legacy will live forever. After watching him in action, Danilov has a brilliant idea. He writes stories of Vasily's heroic exploits in the army's newspaper, making him a national hero and propaganda icon. His tales hugely impacted the people, and soon Vasily became an idol figure, admired throughout the nation. People become captivated by his courageous acts, making them proud of their nation. Then, everyone started talking about Vasily and his heroic deeds, making him an even bigger celebrity. His stories are so inspiring that they give people hope during difficult times. From children to adults, everyone admires Vasily for being an incredible example of courage and bravery. Even though it was not easy for Vasily at first, with each passing day, he earned more respect from the public. People began to admire him even more as they saw his passion and dedication to his work. Furthermore, by writing stories about his exploits, Danilov plays a huge role in promoting Vasily as a national hero. Vasily is determined to do whatever he can to protect Tania, with whom both Vasily and Danilov have fallen in love, even at the risk of his safety. Danilov has her transferred to an intelligence unit away from the battlefield. Meanwhile, Vasily refuses to back down and continues to prove himself as a great soldier. He is devoted to eliminating any danger that threatens Tania and is determined not to let anything stand in his way. His courage and strength inspired others around him, especially Danilov, who came to respect Vasily for his dedication greatly. Despite the odds against him, Vasily never gives up and goes above and beyond the call of duty to keep Tania safe. His heroic actions motivate other soldiers to fight bravely in the face of danger and show them that no matter how great the odds may be, it is always possible to come out victorious. Vasily is now seen as a true hero. He leads the people of the war-torn city of Stalingrad with courage and bravery, inspiring others to keep fighting and never give up. As a result, everyone looks up to him, believing in his leadership and hoping for a better future. Even in the darkest times, Vasily's courage and selflessness keep them going and gives them hope they will come out of this victorious. He motivates people never to give up and stay strong even when it seems impossible. His heroic acts are admirable, and he becomes a true symbol of courage. Apart from the soldiers, Vasily becomes the hero of the citizens too. Whenever they felt like giving up, they looked towards him for strength and courage. His bravery is inspiring, and his fearless attitude makes them believe that nothing is impossible for them. He keeps reminding them that their nation will prevail no matter how tough the times are. With Vasily leading from the front, people know their future is safe and secure. Major Erwin Koenig was renowned for his skill as a marksman and the head of the German army sniper school at Sachsen. So it seems natural for him to take on the task of putting an end to Vasily, who has been an ever-increasing thorn in the side of the German forces. He lures Vasily into a trap, successfully taking out two of his fellow snipers, but to his dismay, Vasily manages to escape. Despite this setback, Major Koenig remains confident and determined that he will be able to outwit Vasily in the end. He begins devising a plan to capture Vasily and bring justice to those who wronged him. He sets up a network of informants around the village and starts visiting people who may have information about Vasily's whereabouts. He studies Vasily's movements and techniques, looking for any weaknesses or vulnerabilities he can exploit. His dedication to ending Vasily's reign of terror is unwavering, and he will stop at nothing until he succeeds. Major Koenig is relentless in his pursuit of Vasily, and his search finally pays off when one of his informants tips him off on the location of Vasily's hideout. Major Koenig is determined to succeed in his mission no matter what. A clear goal drives him: to take out Vasily and turn the tides of the war in favor of the Germans. He is aware that it will be an arduous task, but he knows that if he could take out Vasily, the Soviet morale would be crushed and Germany would gain a much-needed victory. Nevertheless, his determination to achieve his goal was unwavering, so Major Koenig set off for Stalingrad in search of his enemy. Vasily knew he would need to use every bit of his sniper experience to outwit this formidable enemy. He has to succeed. He has to prove himself to his superiors, and most importantly, he has to prove himself to himself. As Vasily steps up to the challenge, he feels a surge of energy course through his veins and, for the first time in days, feels like he could take on the world. He was ready. Focusing all his attention on the task, Vasily plans his mission. Of course, he would need to be extra careful if he was to counter Koenig's cunning tactics and prevail in this sniper standoff. Nevertheless, with nerves of steel and a clear head, Vasily works out a strategy and studies every detail so that nothing can surprise him or throw him off guard. Meanwhile, Koenig sets up another trap for Vasily and kills Kaulikov after Kaulikov reveals his position. It breaks Vasily's spirits and pressure increases on Vasily to end the fight between him and Koenig quickly. Killing Koenig now becomes the most important thing for Vasily. When Tania requests to be reassigned to the sniper division, Danilov knows he has to find a way to protect her and turns to Vasily for help. Vasily tries to dissuade her, but she reveals that the Germans murdered her Jewish parents. After this, he allows her to join them. Knowing that he can't stop her from joining, Danilov decides to recruit a young boy, Satya, to act as a double agent and pass false information about Vasily's whereabouts to Koenig. Hoping this will give Vasily a chance to ambush the major and end their mission on a high note. Vasily is deeply touched by Danilov's willingness to put his own life at risk to protect others from the same fate. He is also inspired by Tania's courage and determination in the face of danger and decides that he will do whatever it takes to ensure the success of their mission. As they all prepare for what lies ahead, Vasily knows that victory will be theirs this time. Vasily, determined to take down Koenig, plans a trap but fails. However, it is on a second attempt, a tired Vasily goes to sleep. A German soldier steals Vasily's sniper log. The German command immediately takes this as evidence of Vasily's death and plans to send Koenig home, but the major refuses to believe it. Instead, he suspects that Vasily is still alive and decides to tell Satya where he will be next, hoping that the young boy will pass on the message. Meanwhile, Tania and Vasily have developed feelings for each other, and the jealous Danilov starts to disparage Vasily in a letter to his superiors. Koenig's suspicions are confirmed when he spots Vasily and Tania waiting for him at his next ambush. His heart fills with rage as he kills Satya, hanging his body from a pole in an attempt to bait Vasily. Vasily takes a vow to kill Koenig in revenge. He quickly sends Tania and Danilov to evacuate Eva Mats, Satya's mother, from the city. Still, his plans are thwarted when Tania is wounded by shrapnel on the way to the evacuation boats. Brokenhearted, Danilov's disenchantment with the communist agenda resurfaces. He feels nothing but shame for having ever doubted him. No one had ever been more loyal and brave than Vasily, and Danilov could not help but admire him for it. He now understood why everyone had held Vasily in such high regard and vowed to follow in his footsteps. Vasily stalks the German Major Koenig, waiting to ambush him. But Danilov intentionally faces Koenig, who pulls the trigger and kills Danilov with a single shot. Thinking that he had killed Vasily, he slowly approaches the body, only to realize that he was in Vasily's sight the whole time. With a heavy heart and immense dread, Koenig slowly turns around to face Vasily. He felt his knees go weak and his heart racing as he saw Vasily, gun ready in hand. In one swift motion, Vasily fires off a shot that ends Koenig's life. It was a fitting end for the major, one that seemed almost predestined as he fell to the ground. The battle was finally over, with Vasily standing as the victor. It has been 2 months since the liberation of Stalingrad. German forces have surrendered. Vasily keeps searching for Tania in various hospitals. Just when he is about to lose hope, he finds her in a field hospital. He couldn't believe that not only had he survived one of the bloodiest battles ever fought, but his love had also been saved. He feels a wave of relief wash over him and knows his mission was a success.